Top of the agenda is the torturous process to reach a conclusion. The Izak Rankine investigation continues on. Days of parry and thrust on a legal front still unresolved on a Wednesday night. It will tip into Thursday as the Crows pull out all stops to minimise the ban.
We've been too slow to learn and grow and develop, I suppose, as people.
Unfortunately, but through suspensions, you'll need a change in behaviour, and no doubt it will.
We cannot say this.
You can't say the players haven't been warned about it.
I've got no sympathy for him.
There's no place for it.
Rankin would be beside himself.
He's very remorseful and he understands that he's made a mistake and he'll accept whatever comes his way.
But it's probably the penalty to me that I have a little bit of an issue with.
What's a fair penalty for things like this? As we know, to get 4 or 5 weeks for a physical indiscretion, geez, you'd want to knock someone in the next week to get 5 weeks, wouldn't you?
I don't condone the behaviour. It's a term that should never be used on the football field, we understand, but I think we painted ourselves in a corner with regard to the penalty and the length of penalty to start.
Is it a distraction for the group? You've been so good at being narrow-focused this year.
No, this is.
Yeah.
But no, we're locked in on what we're doing this weekend. And as I just said before, we just put support around Izak because it is a tough thing to go through, and he knows it's going to be tough from here, but we'll work our way through it.
Hopefully it's the last time it happens. Who knows if it is, but obviously no room in the game for it.
It's going to cost his team, and it's going to cost his club, and it's going to cost him. This one's going to really sting.
This is not sympathy for Izak. This is sympathy for the Adelaide Footy Club.
The ramifications are unbelievably significant.
So those ramifications sit so heavily over the process, which you'd have to say is convoluted. The incident happens on Saturday night. Phone call is made between Collingwood and Adelaide on Sunday and referred to the AFL's integrity unit. Interviews are conducted on Monday. There's an Adelaide submission to the AFL, which accompanies those. The AFL's determination goes back to the Crows, which sets out the 5-week ban, of which the Crows have the right of rebuttal, which they are exercising at the moment, and they've been granted additional time to do that. So that's due with the AFL tonight, and then a determination tomorrow. So, if I may, there's a few points here.
Take us through them.
That is an intolerably convoluted process, and it risks the AFL looking indecisive. Perhaps behind the scenes they haven't been that at all, but that's how it looks from the outside. It does make me wonder why Andrew Dillon and his legal team didn't go to Adelaide on Tuesday, sit in the boardroom and stay until matters were resolved. I think on a public front, so this is going to run all the way until game day of round 24. It's a nasty story. It's got an unsavoury edge, and some of the debate around it's damaging to the code and runs all the way. But my focus really is on Adelaide, who seem desperate to fight every angle of this. It's not a picture of accepting responsibility and acting in a contrite manner. And they are arguing the toss at every turn, formally and informally. Finals games should be worth more than home and away, even though there's no precedent in the system for that. They have gone with Rankine was provoked, which is a big stretch, I think, in he was antagonised, but provoked is a big stretch. Informally, they've even raised Snoop Dogg. I would put to you, that's the domain of talkback radio, not a responsible footy club. I think there were 3 possibilities here: is front up to what happened, pledge to address whatever it is in the environment that allowed this to happen, and accept what's coming.
It's a fine line. Well, is it a fine line? It's incumbent from a supporter's point of view to do the best job they possibly can to see if they can get Izak back playing. Now, as unsavoury as that may sound, and as you've pointed out, it smacks of them not wanting to take responsibility, I think they are entitled to argue their case as vociferously and as strongly as they possibly can, given the stakes that are at play, so long as they are accepting of the final verdict and it doesn't go too far. But I understand what you're saying, it's drawn out, and I like your first alternative, get over there and fix it. I'm always one of those to get on the front foot and get in front of each other and nut it out until it's done. The Crow supporters want to have, they want their man to play, and then the administration now is saying, well, we'll do whatever we can, but there will come a time where they need to put their hand in the air and go, enough's enough.
So the AFL is going to need to be resolute when they announce their punishment. There's a constituency that's waiting to hear, and even the raising of Snoop Dogg by the club, they're going to have to front up to those questions. Yeah. And Adelaide, who have their history on this front, is they fought tooth and nail every step of the way on their pre-season camp. I hope they have learned a lesson or two along the way in the way that they address this publicly when the time comes.
That is a very interesting point. And as a football club that's sitting on top of the ladder and a premiership favourites, there is a way to deal with it. And as I said, I don't begrudge them the right to fight and fight hard, even if that means getting in the trenches a bit. But there comes a time when you need to show some humility and be accepting of the penalty, and that'll come.
Craig McRae, the Collingwood coach, spoke today. This was his insight.
Yeah, it's about making sure our players are safe, but also I don't want to demonise Izak either. Everyone's allowed to make mistakes. The young lad seems like a really respectful young man, and he's made an error. So, the AFL will take their own course on that, but you're allowed to make mistakes too, so we respect that.
There's been talk about provocation in terms of a submission and that. Is there no provocation for something like that?
I don't want to have he said, she said stuff. I think the reality is, and we're all really comfortable with what we want our workplace to look like, and these things step over the boundary line.
If it turns out that Collingwood go back to Adelaide for a qualifying final, that is an explosive backdrop for that game to take place in front of. So we'll wait to see on that front. Craig McRae was also, he offered great clarity around the Bobby Hill scenario, which has sort of lurked in the background with a degree of uncertainty and all manner of rumour and innuendo about it, both publicly and I think within the club. Having had dinner with Bobby last night, he looked to set matters straight on the record.
I had dinner with Bobby last night. As I continue to say, it's a week-by-week, day-by-day thing with Bobby. It was just nice to catch up with him on a social level, just to check in and care for him. There's two things that I always live by. There's high performance and there's love and care. And I've just sort of left the high performance for now and just making sure the young lad's OK. Time's running out in the season and maybe the high performance might be a bit far at the moment, but we'll just take that off the table for now and hopefully he can get back in the club and then be happy, and then we'll see where we go from there.
So off the table for a moment, McRae also said that when he was asked, does that mean he won't play? He said he'd asked Bobby how Bobby wanted him to answer that. He said, just give me a glimmer of hope that I could work my way back.
Yeah, I would suggest his season is done, given the amount of work that he's missed and given the game that we're about to play, and that is the most competitive, high-pressured game of all, and that's finals footy, and that's sad. So from a Bobby point of view, I think, again, the issues are the issues, and then there's the footy issues. And I'm glad that Craig has addressed it. In the end, the playing group need to know. The playing group, and I'm sure they've communicated this to their players as well, and maybe the supporters. Hey, this is where it sits. Unambiguous. We're not worrying about footy right now. That's not on the table. So if you're not worrying about footy in round 24, and having missed the work that he's done, then that's a long shot that he's playing. I think that's good to get that out there, because then we can go, OK, we'll let him deal with what he's going to do. We don't need to pressure them about when he's going to come back to footy. That's a long, long shot. The playing group need to know it, because they don't need to answer it every time they go to the milk bar and every time they buy, the paper or whatever. So it's out there, it's done, and then I hope Bobby can get sorted what he needs to get sorted. But the footy now is the focus for them.
They have clearly missed him. So there's no more, well, wait till we get Bobby back. They're going to have to find a way without him.
Well, there's another reason why you got to move on, Gerard, and that appears to what's happened today. And I think that's a good thing for Collingwood. They've got to get moving and move on, and there's a final series to be won.